It has been stupidly hot here in Korea, so we are escaping to a much cooler place. Tropical Chiang Rai, Thailand. No, really, it is actually cooler there, relatively speaking. Thank you, climate change. To make good our escape, we are taking Vietnam Air from Busan Kimhae to Bangkok Suvarnabhumi with a 3-hour layover in Hanoi. Let's see what adventures await. We actually commence this journey at the leisurely hour of 5:30 a.m. because we have to walk to the metro in Daegu to take the metro to the bus terminal to take the bus to Gimhae Airport in Busan. This is our first time flying out of Busan, and we are delighted by how short the trip is versus heading up to Incheon, and by the fact that the bus drops us off at our airline's check-in counter. We are flying business class today because business class tickets on Vietnam Air were almost the same price as economy class tickets on Korean Air. After checking in and passing through security much more quickly than would have happened at Incheon Airport, we make our way to the Korean Air lounge that also services Vietnam Air passengers. I enjoy an average Earl Grey tea, reject the not-so-tasty filling of an egg sandwich, and consume the very decent filling from a caprese sandwich. I mean, why would I waste the calories on bread that isn't even trying? We are soon heading off to the gate to board, which happens very quickly because we are business class passengers. But it looks like we are at a hard stand on a national flag carrier, while the much smaller planes of budget airlines have jet bridges. What on earth? After taking a leisurely bus tour of Gimhae Airport, we arrive at our Boeing Dreamliner 878. A quick walk across the tarmac, and as soon as I enter the door, the amazing service begins. I am warmly greeted by everyone and escorted to my seat. As soon as I'm ready to stow my belongings in the overhead bin, a flight attendant is there at my side to do it for me. After an appropriate pause to allow me to sit, greeting beverages are offered: apple juice, orange juice, water, and champagne. I mean, it's already 10:30 in the morning, a very respectable time to imbibe. And in any case, everyone knows that airplanes encompass all time zones simultaneously. We are flying a Boeing 787 Dreamliner in business class, which has a 1-2-1 reverse herringbone configuration. Note that there are only overhead bins above the window seats. It could possibly become problematic if the cabin were full and everyone brought their full complement of carry-on luggage, to wit, 2 8-kilogram bags plus a personal item per person. Pretty generous. Well, here is what is awaiting me when I arrive at my seat. This is certainly an older style of seat, and they are a little, loved. It feels as though I'm being hugged affectionately by my seat. But I adore the classic lotus blossom motif woven into almost everything soft and squishy on this plane. That being said, the cabin walls themselves are institutionally gray. A few lotus blossoms scattered across the bulkheads could really transform this space nicely. Otherwise, the seat comes with the usual suite of controls. You have all these outlets, you've got your seat controls, and then, of course, there is a remote that you can remove to control the TV so that you're not constantly doing grab and reaches in order to change your programming. There's a nice reading light here that is directional, perfect for all of your mid-flight project needs for those of us who are crafty. Now, this is a reverse herringbone configuration, which means that the screens are actually angled away when they're docked for takeoff and landing. So that means that you'll actually be viewing your neighbor's screen during those periods of the flight. For those who are curious, this is what a window seat looks like. It's no different than the other seats, so there is no advantage. In fact, the opposite is true. The window seats actually seem to have less storage room and less table room than the middle seats. Our 3.5-hour flight comes with a very well-stocked seat. We have a pillow. We have a pair of slippers, so keep your feet nice and clean when you go to the bathroom. They actually look pretty decent. We have a Samsonite amenity kit. That's pretty impressive. We'll explore that in a bit. And the blanket. Well, okay, it looks kind of underwhelming, but let's see what we've got inside. It's actually pretty large, and as I unfold it, I discover that it may be the most beautiful in-flight blanket I've ever seen in my life. Might not be the best blanket in terms of blanket function, but it's real pretty. Would you agree? Let me know in the comments below. Cheap plug for engagement. Well, let us go ahead and explore our surprising Samsonite kit. We have an eye mask, lip balm, or lip butter I think it's called, body lotion, some stickers, and an inventory of what's inside. We'll get to these stickers in a little bit. A comb brush combination, earplugs, and a dental kit, and finally, comfort socks. So the toothbrush turns out to be plastic. That's not particularly impressive. I wish it were bamboo. The eye mask is kind of plasticky. It's not the best eye mask I've ever had. The Spreckenhus body lotion and lip balm are actually pretty quality stuff. They're actually made by an Oslo company. And the stickers. So this is the interesting part. These stickers are for you, the passenger, to be able to communicate with the crew what option you would like, whether you would like to be disturbed for a meal, disturbed for duty free. I can't imagine anyone would want that, or just left alone for the whole flight. Continuing with our seat exploration, we have sound canceling headphones wrapped in paper, not plastic. I do appreciate that nod to sustainability. And yes, I do realize that planes consume massive amounts of fuel and have a massive footprint, and that a piece of paper might not seem like much, but hey, I'll take the small wins where I can get them. The headphones fit quite comfortably, and if I can just figure out where the plug is.
You can do it.
They are quite effective at canceling sound and rendering sound quality from the entertainment system. And better than other Asian air carriers such as Air India, where I've received a pair of headphones in first class that weren't even worthy of economy class. For reasons sadly known only to God, I do not actually capture any footage of the in-flight entertainment system, but after having flown this leg 4 times, I can assure you it is excellent. As for the seat itself, even though a bit dated, this is a true lie-flat seat. The footwell strikes me as rather small and confined. Our flight is only about 3.5 hours today, but I'm not certain that I would be thrilled with this on my usual 14-hour transglobe journey. In addition to that, there is this super deep crevice here, which would absolutely not be comfortable on a long-haul flight. There are a few signs of wear and tear, but nothing off-putting. And God knows, nothing like Air India's literally crumbling Boeing 787 business class cabin. The cabin is sparsely populated today, allowing the attendants to be particularly attentive. They bring the classic hot towels of wonder, a luxury I adore. The towels even feature the Lotus Blossom logo. They then take pre-meal drink orders as the plane taxis to the runway, and then immediately come back to get meal orders once we are in the air. The menu is shown to us rather than awaiting us at our seats, an interesting cost-saving measure, maybe? The options are quite varied, and after some dithering, I choose the Korean ginseng chicken meal, while my condotiero takes the bacon-wrapped tenderloin. I personally prefer to stick to Asian dishes when in Asia, but Ryan is willing to risk it. Takeoff goes smoothly. One of the things I love about the Boeing 787 is how quiet they are. You can actually have a conversation without whisper shouting at one another like some brightly illuminated nightclub. Almost as soon as the plane levels off, our industrious team of attendants commences their ballet of feeding. First comes the apéritif with an amuse-bouche. Rather substantial portions, I have to say. I choose lotus green tea for my apéritif beverage. Again, I generally prefer to chew my calories rather than drink them. Unless it's sake. That's a whole different thing, though. The amuse-bouche is served on porcelain, carefully laid out, and everything is delicious. As soon as our plates are empty, they are swept away, along with any waste, to make way for the first course. For Ryan, the Western option, his appetizer consists of cold duck and chicken served with a tasty soup of indeterminate nature. My first course is Korean veggie banchan with jellyfish noodles. A whole plethora of metal utensils come wrapped in a napkin, but no chopsticks, so I have to ask for them, because I just can't bring myself to eat Korean food with a fork and knife. The crew then serves the main course. My condottiero has the filet mignon and wine. They then bring around a selection of breads. My meal is Korean boiled chicken, basically deconstructed samgyetang, with banchan. The attentive staff also brings me a fresh cup of green tea without me even having to ask. They then sit up for dessert. I choose the fruit platter, while my condottiero chooses wine and cheeses, of which they have a very fine selection. I, of course, also have to get cheese after seeing such a lovely platter. I also find the selection of fruit to be particularly premium. I mean, mango? Yes, please. There's also a delicious cheesecake on offer. I find it particularly remarkable that they actually bring around a tray with a selection of fruits, and I get to choose which ones I specifically want. My meal is decent, although not mind-blowing. The meat is tender, the veggies are crisp, and the chestnuts and jujubes are certainly quality ingredients. My husband's filet mignon, by contrast, actually does blow my mind. It is shockingly good. The meat is tender, tasty, and perfectly cooked. And in fact, the cheese plate turns out to be one of the best cheese plates I've ever had on a plane. I would like to take a moment to compare this amazing Vietnam Air business class experience to a similar length flight on any given U.S. flag carrier in their so-called first class. There is a vast chasm in terms of comfort, soft product, hard product, and quality of service. My fellow Americans, we've really come to accept the bottom of the barrel when it comes to pretty much everything about our in-flight experience these days. Here in the bathroom, and I'm going to leave with a very strange statement, it actually smells good in here. Luxury toiletries actually from France. They actually have decent things. There's a facial tonic and a moisturizer, a razor kit. I love that they actually have a really sweet smelling, I think those might be lime leaves, actually, in the flower holder. And there's a lovely scent sachet here. Oh yeah, that is covered in lemon oil or lemongrass oil. It smells really nice in here. I've never smelled such a sweet smelling airport or a plane bathroom before. Otherwise, it's, it's a pretty typical Boeing 777 Dreamliner bathroom. This isn't the large one. The large one is busy or out of order, but it's got some nice features, some mood lighting. It's got a kind of tiny sink. I would say my only bit of constructive criticism would be some more color, because it's a little dark in here. But I really have to say that it smells good in here. Well, as is the nature of things, all good things must come to an end. 3.5 hours goes by super fast when you have this kind of amazing service. We are soon descending into Hanoi Airport, and I have to say that I have thoroughly enjoyed this time with Vietnam Airlines, so much, in fact, that we take the exact same flight 5 months later, finding that, in fact, the service was not a fluke. We get exactly the same experience again. But interestingly, there is a postscript. The premium 5-star experience does not end upon landing. We had to park at a hard stand, which meant that they sent a bus for us. Now, normally I get really grumpy about buses because of many reasons that take us to the terminal, but not about this one. Check out this luxury baby just for business class passengers. Super comfortable and gets us to the terminal ahead of everyone else. Yay. Well, what are your thoughts on the Vietnam Airlines experience? Have you flown with them before? Share your experience in the comments below. Otherwise, we are onward for Bangkok. So until next time, everyone, may your travels be creative and unexpected. And for my kitty lovers, stay tuned for your moment of kitty zen.
Meow.
Are you alive?
Meow meow.
I'm not convinced.